Calderwood Pavilion is my artistic home.
You know, it's brimming, it's bubbling, and this theater is so beautiful. It really is beautiful.
I feel like there's a brightness to the energy of the Calderwood.
There always seems to be excitement.
It's just great energy, just a great vibe.
The atmosphere is electric, and there's this friendly buzz. There's always noise, just a sort of rumbling of what's happening in this room, what's happening in this room. Did you see that thing?
The Calderwood Pavilion personifies the pulse of the neighborhood of the South End in Boston. It was part of the movement that made the South End a destination with places to see art, with lots of restaurants, and just a neighborhood for walking and spending a night.
This still was sort of a dark, seedy, little worn out area of the South End, especially the end block. Everyone always loved the BCA and what it felt like. But some very smart people got together, figured out that what we needed was something like the Calderwood.
So we had a number of goals in creating the Calderwood. The first was to create a home for new plays, for the development of new writers and new productions for the Huntington, starting with Melinda Lopez's Sonia Flew and all the way through to The Purist by Dan McCabe. This is a home for world premieres with a great focus on local writers, women writers, and writers of color.
You're forgetting I know how to use Google.
The Huntington provides a platform for new plays. These are brand new plays that have never been seen before. Maybe they've been heard in a reading or sitting around a table, but the fact that a writer has the opportunity to see their work in 3 dimensions and, most importantly, to get response from an audience, it's critical to the development of every writer's craft.
I see you, boy. I see you too.
We've got all these playwrights. They're writing stories, new American stories, and they have to have spaces to put them on. They just have to.
Every playwright say it's an incredible place to premiere their work because we've got a beautiful jewel box proscenium, and you don't want to put the pressure on a new play of popping it in a 900-seat theater. You want to be able to put it in a more intimate environment, but by creating that gold proscenium that we've got in the Wimberley Theater, we're treating that play like an adult. We're saying this play belongs in a proscenium house. This play belongs in the most traditional homes.
The Calderwood Pavilion feels like a creative space where all are welcome. You know, there are many different spaces here, theatrical spaces here that can serve different kinds of artists, different kind of art, and it's just magical.
I done what I had to do. I swallowed my pride and let them mess me over all the time.
Just being in the space and just being around people that love theater as much as I do, you know, that really made an impression on me. I met people who are professional working actors in Boston, and I got really good advice from them.
It's incredible how the Calderwood can serve so many different organizations. The building really here is busy from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., Monday through Sunday. We do not stop. We can start with Mommy and Me music class at 8 a.m., and we can go all the way into the evening with cabaret performances, and in between have meetings, auditions, everything else.
The people who supported the Calderwood Pavilion probably thought that they were supporting the Huntington Theatre Company. And yes, of course they did, but they did so much more by supporting Speakeasy and all the other theaters and dance companies that have used this space since the beginning.
Our board really made the extraordinarily generous decision to take on the additional burden of building and running for 50 years a much larger center in order for the Huntington to take on a role as a support center for other performing arts organizations. And that proved to be a very important decision.
Now we have this opportunity on Huntington Avenue to take everything that we've learned here in the South End and apply it to an even bigger project. The renovation and expansion of the Huntington Avenue Theater. This is our beautiful 1925 vintage proscenium Broadway-style theater, which has the architecture and the integrity of a great performing space, and yet now needs renovation and restoration and care and love that we are uniquely positioned to give it. And when we do that, we're going to expand into 14,000 square feet of new space, which will serve our audience in ways that they can only dream of at the moment, but also has the capacity as a flexible and large enough space to serve as a center for social events, for meetings, for community activities, and as a small performing arts space. So we're going to take the lessons from the Calderwood and build another community hub on Huntington Avenue, which is going to be both a place to gather, but also a place to create new kinds of art.
The Huntington has really emerged as a leader in the Boston arts community because they put their money where their mouth is. They talk about commitment to local playwrights and local performers, local directors and artists, and then they do it. Bravo, Huntington. Please keep going another 15 or 150 years. We celebrate you.